This tutorial is on how to create a Moodle choice activity. Turn on your editing and go to Add an Activity or Resource. You will click the radio button next to Choice. A choice is a single answer poll. So you will click Add, and you'll probably want to title it with something like Poll so students will know what that is. So I might put, hey, favorite foods poll. That wouldn't typically be a poll I would use, but this will just make it quick. So your instruction would be something like, please choose the food closest to your favorite. And you might put you only have one choice, so they know that. Okay, if you wanted to limit the number of responses, you could do that. What that does is, let's say I enable this. You'll see that next to here I can change this to a number. If I were to change that to 2, and I were going to make this cheese, only 2 people could choose this, and then it would no longer be available for someone else to choose. So let's say you were doing a class party and you needed parents to come or students to come and choose an option to bring the class. You would want to limit those so not everyone is bringing the same thing. Or maybe you're going to have them choose what type of presentation they're going to give or who they're going to give a presentation on. Again, you could limit those choices so that you're not getting all of the same thing. So that would be a reason. I am not going to be using any kind of limit, and so I might put just cheese, steak, apples, and then I'm going to go down. You can keep adding 3 fields for as long as you want. It can be really lengthy if you need it to be. You can restrict the answering with an opening and closing date, which I do not use. You can display either horizontally or vertically. So my rule is people tend to feel more comfortable scrolling vertically than horizontally. So if I don't have a lot of choices, I will keep it at horizontal, but let's say I have 10, I would move it to vertical. Then you have different ways you can publish the results. You can not publish them at all, or you can show results only after the student answers, or only after you've closed the choice, which if you don't enter a closing date, you can't really choose that one, or they can all see it. So I'm going to say they can always see the results. Then I have to determine what exactly they can see. Anonymous results with no student names or full results. So I'm going to do anonymous results so they don't see who chose what. Allowing the choice to be updated lets them change their mind. And then you can have a column for those who haven't answered or taken the poll yet. That way you can get them and tell them they still need to do it. We have the same group settings like we normally do, and again we have this grading condition where they couldn't participate in this until they finished an assignment. Now if this were something like choosing who they were going to speak about, someone from the Revolutionary War, then you might have them have an assignment they have to complete before they have to do that. That means first come, first serve, so that they have to complete this other assignment and get a certain grade before they can actually participate in this one. I also want to touch on this release code. You can enter a code, it's almost like a password, and a student can't get to this until they've entered that password. So you could hand that out as well instead of setting up a grading criteria. And then you would just hit save and return to course to see the link, or save and display to see how the choice looks.